receives knowledge that a student may be an abused or neglected child shall immediately report or cause a report to be made to DCFS, and that the employee shall also promptly notify the superintendent or building principal that a report has been made. Just wondering if you could tell us what you consider to be a prompt report.
Well, actually, in public comment, we don't answer questions.
Okay.
You don't answer questions?
Well, something for thought then is, maybe, do you think maybe that, instead of saying prompt, it should be immediate notification like it says in the first part of the guideline? I mean, do you think it's important to have immediate notification and reporting of any instances of abuse and neglect of children so that you can take prompt action?
Thank you for your comment.
Okay. I have another question, if that's okay.
Sure.
There was a considerable amount of money that was spent regarding the dismissal of a teacher from the district, and I'm just wondering if you have an opinion as to whether the public has the right to know that how much money was spent in that episode? Between the attorneys, between what it cost the district for that?
There's a Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
I think we have a process for that.
If you want to submit a Freedom of Information Act, any of that information is available.
Okay. Do you actually know how much was spent on the dismissal of
Not
student
offhand.
battery?
That's why we don't normally answer
Okay.
questions, because we don't have that information access to us right then.
And then if I could, just one more,
Sure.
jumping back to section 5.9. How often is that section reviewed with district employees? Once a year? They get it when they initially,
Well,
Yeah,
it's
policy
the board
5.90.
policy.
Every year.
every year? Part of like a required training course for them, or required?
Bloodborne pathogen.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have a comment or question? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
My name's Pearl Gaskins. I live in Riverside. My daughter goes to Ames School.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very disappointed in the board in that I don't see any transparency, you don't seem to feel obligated to answer the taxpayer and the parents' questions about the issues such as the one the man just asked. It just seems like we can ask all we want, we can raise our concerns, but you're not giving us anything back in return. I'm very concerned about the safety of my child. I don't feel that you are equally concerned with that. You've let a situation continue since 2011, which I feel is potentially dangerous to my child. And I want to know what you're going to do about it.
If you have a specific question about something, I would appreciate if you would send the Board of Education an email, and then we can respond to you with what information that we can.
That's what you said.
Yes.
I have a question for you. Are you legally, by whatever, I don't know, bylaws or whatever dictates what you guys do as a board, are you legally obligated not to comment? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you going outside of some sort of policy that's dictated by the state or whatever to comment on situations like this in a public forum?
We are governed by our policies, and legally, we cannot talk about personnel issues with the public, because every individual person deserves privacy. So yes.
So is that why you're appearing as though you don't want to talk about it? Not that you don't want to talk about it, it's that you can't talk about it?
We can't talk about
Excuse me, I'm Joanne Rogers. I'm sure you know we met yesterday. I understand that you can't talk about personnel matters, but you can talk about policy matters. And you made a statement yesterday to me that you were going to make a statement at this meeting concerning transparency about the events that happened in Ames during the summer of 2011 and the fall of 2011, which are of grave concern to many people in this community, as you know. I don't have a child in District 96 anymore who's moved on, but if I were a parent who had a child at Ames, I would be gravely concerned about the safety of my child in the classroom. Should an accused sexual predator be allowed to remain in the classroom after a report had been made and while a police investigation were still pending, which apparently was the case? And I would like to know when the board plans on addressing this.
I have a statement to make, but I wanted to make sure that if there was public comment, if people want.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And
to.
why, you have reacted to certain comments that people have made tonight, because those are easy. It's easy to talk about building architecture. The hard questions you deflect.
When it's a personnel issue, you cannot comment in
Well,
public, Joe. When it has to do with a question about the entrance of a school, it's a completely different topic. It is.
But I
And
think
you
it's a
wouldn't want me
policy
talking
issue,
about
too.
your son.
It's a policy.
You would want me to maintain the
I'm not
confidentiality.
talking about my son.
So I'm saying you would want anyone, the confidentiality of a student or a staff member, or somebody that works in the school district, an employee, you would want that confidentiality
I
to happen.
completely respect privacy and the privacy issues and the privacy policies and privacy laws. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this board has for years, and not even the people who predate you, just deflect. You don't respect the parents in this community. I don't know what happens when you become a member of the board in this community. You drink some kind of water, and I just, it's not right. It's not right.
Thank you for your opinion. Is there anyone else who'd like to say their opinion? Comment? Okay. Then I would like to make
Regarding, for our finance policy meeting, we're going to review a lot of the policies.
Yes. And I mentioned that.
So let's look at the work on the media.
Yeah. Well, we are doing that. And I'd like to make, if everyone is done with public comment, I'd like to make a statement.
Could I reserve a comment for after your statement?
No. I'll make it after we're done with
You
public
want to make your
comment.
statement now?
I may have a question based on her statement. That's what so many people in this room are waiting to hear. It would be more appropriate to listen to people after you provide some information, in my opinion.
When we're done with public comment, I'm going to make a statement. Yes.
Yes, my name is Mary Rose Mangia, and I live here in Riverside. I have no children. This is only the second board meeting I have ever been to. And I just want to echo what Mrs. Robley said. I've been to 2 board meetings, and both of them have not gotten the sense that you are forthcoming. And it's not, there is a way to say that, I'm sorry, we would really like to comment on something, but we can't, but we can say this, and I'm just, like I said, almost an impartial observer. But that's my reaction. The only 2 times I've been here, it's been exactly the same. It seems more information can be put out there somehow.
Thank you for your comment. Someone else?
Just because I always have to put my 2 cents in, I think it would be really a hard job to be a board member and have to sit up here and not be able to comment. I would never be able to do that. So, it's a tough job, and thank you guys for sticking it out. Whether I agree with you or disagree with you, thank you, because I know it's a tough job.
In the spirit of the holiday, that's a nice thing to hear, Karen. Thank you. Someone else? With public comment done, I'd like to make a public statement. 1 year ago, on December 14th, 2011, the Riverside School District Board of Education unanimously approved, in good faith, a resignation agreement and general release with a former part-time teacher who was represented by private legal counsel and her union. In that agreement, the Board of Education legally agreed to the request to limit District 96 public response in the event of third-party requests for information to general matters of employment. Each board member here took an oath when we were sworn into office that pertains to encouraging free expression of opinion while respecting the privacy of students and employees. Therefore, the Riverside School District Board of Education will fulfill its ethical commitment and legal obligation to refrain from any public comment beyond what was agreed to regarding this former part-time employee. Reflecting on the several past months, the Board of Education acknowledges that our inability to comment because of the restrictive language in the agreement has been unsettling to many members of our community. We recognize that it can be frustrating for members of the public to ask specific questions and not receive specific answers. For many of the answers, District 96 is legally prohibited from sharing a specific response. The safety of children in our schools is our highest priority. We have investigated and we are continuing to investigate the actions of all employees involved in this matter to determine that district policy was executed correctly. In November, the policy committee met and began reviewing relevant policies to ensure this situation does not ever happen in the future of District 96. Our focus continues to remain on our students and our district's stated mission of providing a challenging education which promotes academic excellence, encourages creativity, develops critical thinking, and fosters respect for self, community, and the environment. Okay, are there any